Hey guys, just want to draw your attention to a new report issued today by Dr. Janet Sherman and epidemiologist Joseph Mangano. The title of that report, Dramatic Increases in Baby Deaths, the Result of Fukushima Fallout. And basically in this report, the two scientists took CDC data 4 weeks prior to and 10 weeks after the Fukushima nuclear meltdowns. And what their CDC data clearly shows is that there has been an unexplained massive spike in baby deaths over that period of time. Now, the report specifically lists a stunning 35% increase in baby deaths in West Coast cities such as Seattle, Portland, Boise, and several in California. But it also surprisingly shows that this has not been a localized event at all, and that a statistically significant 2.3% increase in baby deaths have been found all over the entire United States of America since that time. Now, the scientists show in this report that there is scientific precedent for these findings, and they point to the work of Dr. Bandashevsky from the University of Belarus, who was actually imprisoned 5 years for showing that there had been a similar spike in baby deaths after the Chernobyl accident.
Now guys, what I'd really like to do is to open up a dialogue, a discussion with each of you on the simple, proactive measures that all of us could take to limit our exposure to these dangerous and potentially deadly radioactive particles that scientists are finding seemingly all around us now. And I'd like to share just a few of the ideas that we've implemented in this house basically since the Fukushima meltdowns. The first simple action of taking off and removing your footwear, your boots. Why not just leave them outside? Obviously, particles trapped inside could become particles that you and your family, your pets, are exposed to. So why not just take that simple step? Now, the second on the list here is by far the most expensive, but in my opinion, well worth the expense. This is an Auric XL professional air purifier, and these models are a bit pricey. I believe they're running $400, $500, $600 now, but you can find factory refurbished models on eBay for, I think I paid $125 or $150 for this model, and I have run this exact model every night now for 4 years. Now, it has a 3-stage filtering system inside, and the center stage is called the Truman cell, and it is a charged plate system that removes charged particles in the air. And if you recall back to my last video, Dr. Arnie Gunderson, referring to the hot particles now being found on the West Coast and throughout the country and the world, and he stated specifically that those are charged radioactive particles. So my hope, although I have no scientific research or proof to prove this, my hope is that this model may well be removing those hot particles. And I feel that this is a great model. This is a great thing to have specifically in the room where you're sleeping, because you're going to be in there breathing that air for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. In that amount of time, this model will recycle the total amount of air, the total volume of air in that room 5, 10, 15, 20 times over that period of time. In my opinion, we're fighting a two-front war. The first front being these particles that are found on the air and subsequently fall to the ground, and that would be the boots and the air purifier, and obviously also your house air purifier needs to be replaced also. That's a cheap fix, and in my opinion that could do wonders for filtering out some of those particles as well. Now, on the second front of the battle that we're fighting, which in my opinion will become more and more important as the months roll on, will be on the consumption of food and liquids front. And what we've simply done in this family is to switch from eating fresh dairy and food products to dehydrated products that we know were packaged before the Fukushima meltdowns. Now, these specific products here are Provident Pantry. That's one of the companies that I like best. By the way, I have absolutely no financial stake in any of the products or companies I'm mentioning here. I do not sell these products. I don't even own stock in any of the companies that make these products. Simply sharing our ideas of what we're doing. Now, as you know, there have been increasing findings of cesium in dairy and vegetables throughout the country and the world. So why not just switch to products that you know were packaged before the Fukushima meltdowns? Now, what we have here are dehydrated milk, dehydrated mozzarella cheese. I have other cheeses as well. And I've had these products in my food storage for years now. Some of these have been sitting around since long before Icicle was even thought of. These are strawberries. These are fantastic in cereals. They're great to eat by themselves. They taste fantastic. And these were placed in these containers long before the Fukushima meltdowns. So you know that you're eating safe product. This mozzarella cheese is fantastic. It's great on omelets and eggs, pizza. Good stuff. Easy to make, easy to prepare, and you know, it's very cost effective as well. Now, since shortly after the Fukushima meltdowns, we switched over to our food storage dehydrated milk that I've had sitting around in the basement for, I don't know, 7, 8, 10 years now. And this product is still widely available. It mixes easily. It tastes fantastic, especially if you let it sit overnight in the refrigerator. Icicle loves this stuff. And I switched him from his fresh organic milk to this dehydrated milk shortly after the Fukushima meltdowns, and it became clear that cesium was going to be a problem in our dairy products. But you could easily find these products on the net. They're available throughout the country without problem, and I think what you're going to find is they're very cost effective also. This milk right here, when you actually figure out the cost, I think I'm only paying $1.25 a gallon for this fantastic dehydrated milk, and it has a shelf life of 25 or 30 years, I believe. Now, the last item I'd like to mention is water. And of course, you already should be doing your best to stay away from tap water anyway, and I'm not going to go into all of the myriad of reasons as to why you should not be drinking tap water, other than to say that just locally here last year, EPA reported that there was a host of known cancer-causing chemicals and compounds in our drinking water in this area. Now, any spring water is probably going to be better than the local municipality water that you may be consuming. But I'd like to specifically go out of my way to suggest this product, Aqua Panna, certainly for the most vulnerable among us, because this product is not only drawn from a spring in Europe, which would of course be farther away yet than we are here from Fukushima, but also because this water that comes out of these springs today was actually rainwater that fell 2,000, 3,000 years ago. Now, by drinking this product, you're not only avoiding the potential radiation that we found in drinking water supplies throughout the country and the world from Fukushima, but you're also avoiding any other pollution or contaminants that have been produced by humans since the dawn of the Industrial Revolution and before. So it's a fantastic product, and I highly recommend it, and the water's fantastic. Anyway, guys, I'd like to wrap this up by just saying that all of you should consider loading your pantries at your homes full of the dried goods and canned foods that you normally eat now as a preventative measure, just in case the radioactive levels being found in our foods continue to increase. And lastly, I'd like to say, for those of you who are cheese lovers, and I know Icicle is just the cheese version of the Cookie Monster. You cannot put a block of cheese in front of that kid without him eating the whole thing. If you absolutely abhor and cannot stand dehydrated cheese, why not purchase aged cheese? And what you might find is that you can actually get aged cheese, because it's old, on sale. I just bought a block of aged cheese 2 days ago that was half off because it was nearing its expiration date, and it was produced at the start of this year. Anyway, guys, just some of the ideas, just some of the things we're doing. Hopefully you guys have some fantastic ideas too. We've been battling the rodents and the avians here in the garden, so we've moved up to DEFCON 2. We've placed up barriers, and hopefully that'll keep them out. Hope you guys are all doing well. We hope you're being safe, and hopefully we can keep you and your family Fukushima free.